Peace and quiet ruin your creativity. Maybe. Maya Angelou liked writing in hotel rooms, and because I decided to try different famous authors' writing routines, I booked myself a hotel room. Although actually this is something I've been dreaming of doing for a while, so it wasn't just something I was doing for the video. And really, what's not to love about getting some time and space for yourself and for your writing? But honestly, I was so surprised by the results, and I mean, really surprised. And yes, I hear you. A routine implies that you need to do something routinely. So if I'm doing something just once, then it technically isn't me testing their routine. However, the point of a routine is not to get really good at doing the routine. The point is the results. If you do something ineffectively, routinely, then you will have ineffective results. And writing isn't like working out. Like if you did a glute workout once and then went like, this isn't working, that would be very silly. But if you try something new with your writing and then you produce zero writing, that might not be something worth turning into a routine. And if something makes you write pages and pages more than you've ever written, then that's something that you might want to apply into your everyday life. So yeah, just a little reminder. This stuff needs to work with your life, not someone else's life. What I'm hoping to get from these experiments is find something that actually does work and then add that to my existing routines. I also want to learn what doesn't work, so I never have to try that again. So let's see what happened when I booked that hotel room. Maya Angelou wrote in hotel rooms, and apparently she would rent a room for multiple weeks at a time and only write during the day and never stay the night in the room. Unfortunately, that wasn't an option for me. I got a room for one night, and that's gonna have to do. Here's what I learned about her routine. Maya Angelou liked to keep her house pretty, and she couldn't write surrounded by pretty. In every town she lived in, whenever she found herself ready to write, she rented a hotel room for a few months. She rose at 5:30 or so, left home at 6, and tried to be at work by 6:30. Before she arrived, the hotel staff would have been given instructions only to empty the wastebaskets and not to change the bed sheets, as she never slept in the room. She also insisted that the room be stripped of any distraction decorations, no artwork, no flowers. On the bedside table was a dictionary, a thesaurus, a Bible, books of poetry, a yellow notepad, ballpoint pens, a deck of cards, an ashtray, a glass, and a bottle of sherry. Angela would read through one of the books in order to get a feel for some rhythm that might spark words, to remind herself of language from Psalms or poetry, or maybe James Weldon Johnson or Paul Laurence Dunbar. Then, once she had found momentum, she began the labor of writing. Angelou wrote lying across the made-up bed, working for such long periods in this position that her elbow became rough with calluses. If stuck, she played solitaire to loosen the brain, to help her, as she put it, find a place of enchantment so that she might be granted easy access to her memories. She might have her first sip of sherry as early as 6:15 as soon as she arrived, but generally she waited until about 11. Usually she wrote until the early afternoon, hoping to have produced by then 10 or 12 pages. She then went home, took a shower, and tried to forget about writing. She might go to the grocery store and pretend to be normal. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. So yeah, I'm not doing things exactly like her. Unfortunately, I'm terribly sorry. I simply do not have the resources to do that. I could have, in theory, taken a hotel room for 2 nights and then written during the day. But I didn't want to. First of all, obviously, it would have cost more money, but also I didn't want to spend my weekend in a hotel. I want to hang out with my children. Also, I didn't bring a Bible. Instead, I brought the complete works of William Shakespeare. And as for sherry, I did very briefly consider it, but I don't drink alcohol. I am not that dedicated to this channel that I would start drinking sherry for a video. I could have maybe bought a cherry cola and, pretend. But yeah, I didn't. What I'm going to do instead is that I think there's some kind of a coffee machine thing downstairs that should have hot chocolate in it as well. So I'm going to see if I can get a mug before I start writing. So this place that I'm staying in, it's not like a proper hotel. There isn't staff in here, and I kind of have a feeling that there isn't any other people in here either. I haven't heard anyone. And it's been built in 1849, which makes it the oldest building that I've ever spent the night in. Very exciting. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for ghosts. Yeah, this bit here looks extremely boring. Sorry about that. It's echoey. I don't like it. I don't really like what they've done with the place. I think some of the I don't like this person, whoever they are. But I'm not a big fan of most of the walls, the wallpaper and in general what they've done with this. And they've got this ugly tailor-made vending machine, which I'm not here to try. Going to see if I'm getting anything out of this bad boy. Getting a mug. Oh, it's making noise. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, back in the room with my hot chocolate. But isn't the room just spectacularly ugly? I mean, can you look at the wallpaper and then the grey wall over there? If you've got a building that was built, I can't talk anymore. Verbs. Ugh. It's like it's 8:30 in the evening. I'm not supposed to talk to people at this hour. If you've got a building that somebody has built in the 1800s, why would you try to make it look modern inside? It's so ugly. I only like the floors, but I don't know. You're probably not interested in the floors. Anyway, I will sit down. I will read some Shakespeare and then get writing. I was hoping to turn the TV on for background noise, but I can't turn it on. I guess the remote has run out of batteries. I would get some batteries myself from the shop, but it's so fucking cold outside. I'm not getting back in there. All right. Here I go reading The Tempest. I'm not a stranger to writing by hand, so that wasn't a problem for me, and I especially like to outline on paper. But dude, it was so hard to focus in that silent grey box. I also did some nonograms to help get unstuck, but I'm not sure if that helped at all. Alright gang, it's 10 in the evening, it's my bedtime now. I cannot make my brain work at this hour. So I'm going to read in bed for a couple of hours and then hopefully I will lose consciousness until at least like 6 a.m. or something. I've been having very bad time sleeping recently. I'm up at like every hour for no reason at all, so I don't know, wish me luck, I guess. I thought that I would be, I don't know, I'd get so much done. There are no distractions or interruptions, but it's too quiet. It's far too quiet. I don't like it at all. I have heard someone else upstairs. Someone was taking a shower, and I did see another person downstairs when I was getting another mug of hot chocolate. That person seemed to be, seemed a little inebriated. So I was like holding my phone like this, like, hey, I've got a phone here. Do not try to assault me, all right? It's really weird. Being in a place like this, and it's far too quiet, and it's like there's no window here. I don't know if I showed you already, but I can still hear the traffic. I'm like right in the middle of town, so yeah. I'm going to read Anatomy of Genre by John Truby for a bit, and when that starts feeling too difficult, I will read. Can't remember what it's called, but it's by Bill Bryson and it's about Shakespeare. So yes, this nerd needs to tuck herself in yeah, I just have to go up the wooden hill to Bedfordshire, so I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, friends, and welcome to my prison cell. I didn't see any ghosts last night, so a little disappointing. I had bought some snacks. There's a fridge in here, and I thought, it is a normal fridge, an entire just a fridge, and I've got protein shake, liquid. I've got a pistachio flavored Starbucks coffee, also liquid. I've got a banana, frozen solid. I was like, it has turned an interesting color overnight, but it's frozen. But at least I have the protein milkshake, which is fortunately banana flavored. So I am going to nourish myself and then try to get some more writing in. Yay! Generally speaking, though, do I think this experiment was a good idea? Well, if this ends up being a good video, then it was a good idea. But I'm so bored. It's so boring in here, and I can't focus on writing if it's boring. It's not just the lack of window, and the fact that this feels like a prison cell. I hate this. What is this? This cover here, made of some kind of synthetic materials. When I sit on it and whatever I touch afterwards, there's a massive spark flying because it just makes me so staticky. So yes, it's an electrocuting prison cell. But I don't feel very creative in here. Like, yay, it's nice to get some peace and quiet, but I cannot deal with the peace and quiet, apparently. And if only I could just turn the TV on to have some kind of background noise, like anything, any kind of garbage, even the news, that would be fine. This is, I think I'll need to meditate for like half an hour to make use of the silence, make this a spiritual experiment, but it just, creatively speaking, it isn't working. I feel like that dead banana. I'm just frozen solid creatively. Yeah. This is really cold. Yeah, this is going in the review. They froze my banana. That was supposed to be my breakfast. My banana. And so I left early to do my pretending to be normal thing at the library and maybe to get some much needed inspiration. Yes, I did make some progress with my story, but it felt like pulling teeth and I just did not enjoy it at all. Would I do this again? Well, maybe at some other hotel room. Or maybe I'll just write at the library next time. Welcome back. So, what did I learn from all this? Turns out I've become way too good at writing in the middle of all the chaos, and I just cannot handle writing inside a void. These experiments made me realize that I don't actually need peace and quiet in order to write. I just need my children not to be demanding things from me while I'm writing, snacks, attention, and snacks. If you have someone who can take over the parenting while you write, or your children are big enough so that they can sort of fend for themselves in your supervision, then this could also work for you. You just need boundaries. You don't need silence. You don't need a hotel room. If chaos has become your natural environment, work with it. From now on, I'll probably try different places to write in, but I won't be demanding total peace and quiet. Let me know what routine I should try next, and if you could actually write inside a grey electrocuting box.